All right, Shalom. Before I get started, I want to start off by saying Barakatah Yahweh, Barakatah Yahweh Shai, Barakatah Yahweh, Barakatah Yahweh Shai, Barakatah Yahweh, Barakatah Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, Rachakwadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone that do rule and teach well, that have taught us His truth through the Holy Spirit. Peace, salutations, and respect to you, Akim, out there, scattered to the four corners of the earth, pushing the ministry and the prophecies of Yahweh Bahasham Yahweh Shai in these last days in all truth and sincerity. Shalom to you, hopeful elect out there. It's Brother Lawyer with GMS Wisconsin, Lord willing, through the Spirit and power of Yahweh Bahasham Yahweh Shai, I'm able to edify somebody. But pretty much I'm gonna title this lesson, That's Why You're Mad. All right, and who am I speaking to when I say I'm talking about the Edomites, man? Esau, Edom, the ones who are actually in power at the moment, you know, who rule the skies, the waters, and the land, man, who rule the earth, so-called white people. All right, of course, there's different tribes of Edomites, but the Edomites rule, man. All right, Esau, Edom, so-called white man, woman, and child, beginning with the international banking families. Okay, they rule the world, man. They rule the earth with an iron fist, man, through white supremacy. Okay, but I have this book here. I actually bought this book. I have it in front of me. It's titled The Making of a Slave by Willie Lynch. There was something that was mentioned in this book. You know, pretty much it just gives you a glimpse into the mind of Esau, Edom, man, and how Esau really thinks about Jake, you know, and how much he really, truly hates the nation of Israel. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do a precept, you know, just to show that Esau has always had that hatred for Jacob. You know, it goes back to even after, I'm going to go to even after Esau sold his birthright. I'm going to go into when he lost the blessing, okay, to Jacob. You know, Esau was bitter about that. You know, he really felt in his heart like he wanted to get Jacob back for that, even though he sold his birthright for a meal. He mad about the blessing too. That was through the Spirit of the Lord, man. How about Shemel Shai? But Esau has always hated Jacob. This is the book of Genesis chapter 27, verse 41. And Esau hated Jacob because of the blessing wherewith his father blessed him. Because, of course, that was supposed to be Esau's blessing. But the Lord put the spirit on Rebekah to tell Jacob to like pretty much disguise himself as Esau so he can get his blessing, so that Esau would ultimately be cut out of the, you know, the temple, because Esau is profane. He's the devil, man. He's Satan in the flesh, you know. It says, and Esau said in his heart, the days of mourning for my father are at hand. Then will I slay my brother Jacob. Now, what you got to understand is Esau has always had that hatred in his heart. That hatred never left, okay? All right, and through, of course, hundreds of years, okay, up into the Greek and Roman Empire when Esau first, you know, started ruling the earth with an iron fist, okay? That hatred has always been there, and it never left. But I have this book in front of me from 1712, you know, when a British slave owner named Willie Lynch, you know, pretty much came to the Americas to show. He traveled hundreds of miles, man, I think thousands, just to show so-called white slave owners how to subjugate their slaves, man. And the black, I have the book here in front of me, page 15 of Willie Lynch, Let's Make a Slave, or Slakia, How to Make a Slave by Willie Lynch. I'm going to read verse 15, Slakia, page 15, okay, by the Black Arcade Liberation Library. Was something they mentioned in regards to the mindset Esau had toward Jacob. I'm going to read it here, okay, just to show you that this precept here I just read in Genesis 27 is you know, it's perpetual, all right? But it says, it was the interest and business of slave holders, all right, Esau, Edom, you so-called white people who took the so-called blacks and Hispanics and Native Indians down as a nation. It says to study human nature, and the slave nature in particular, with a view to practical results to ultimately bring us down out of power which is what you did. It says, I and many of them attained astonishing proficiency in this direction. They had to deal not with earth, wood, and stone, but with men, and by every regard they had for their own safety and prosperity, they needed to know the material on which they were to work. So Esau had to be aware, and he wasn't dealing with just like inanimate objects. He was actually dealing with someone with spirit and blood, But we're talking about the Israelites here. That's when he says, but with men and by every regard they had for their own safety and prosperity, they needed to know the material. So they thought of us as objects. They didn't think of us as human beings. They looked at us as like things, something that you dispose of like garbage and trash. That's why it was so easy for them to kill us. It says they needed to know the material on which they were to work. Conscious of the injustice and wrong they were every hour perpetuating and knowing what they themselves would do. Were they the victims of such wrongs? They were constantly looking for the first signs of the dreaded retribution. See, Esau know there's a consequence for everything, man. These devils know that, because they have studied and they've noticed certain things about the earth, and how things work, how things can come back around. I've heard, you hear them say, what goes around comes around. I don't necessarily hear a lot of Edomites say that, but a lot of them believe in karma. They'll call it a Hindu principle. They believe in karma. But the truth is, it exists. It comes out of the Bible. That's where it originates, man. But let me keep reading. It says, they watched, therefore, with skilled and practiced eyes and learned to read with great accuracy the state of mind and heart of the slave through his sable face. Sable, S-A-B-L-E. When you go into that word, it means the color black. So they're just pretty much, jabbing you while at the same time telling you, this is what we're thinking. This is how we process this. This is what our goals were. They wanted to be accurate. They called themselves skilled in practice. Yeah, because you were experts at wickedness, And what is that in the Apocrypha? It goes into how, knowing how to be wicked. That's not wisdom. But let me read the rest of this. It says, unusual sobriety, apparent abstractions, sullenness, and indifference indeed. Any mood out of the common was afforded ground for suspicion and inquiry. So what they're basically saying here is the average slave had a sullen, like basically a depressed type of mindset, and they held their heads down. They didn't question their slave owners. They didn't buck up, and the ones that did were killed. And he said, in any mood out of the common of the unusual sobriety, the apparent abstraction, sullenness, and indifference, like carelessness. Sullenness is like depression. They were depressed and careless because they were beaten into submission, man. You literally beat them into it, like almost like their minds split, man, to survive. It says any mood out of the common was afforded ground for suspicion and inquiry. That was said by Frederick Douglass, which is the truth. And that goes to show you that hatred has always been there. And Esau is always going to hate us as long as Esau lives, as long as he's in power as well, too. The Lord made him as Satan in the flesh. You go back to Cain, who go back to the serpent in the garden. Amos 1:11. Esau, there's a punishment, man. As a matter of fact, I'm going to read Jeremiah 49 first, and then I'm going to go to Amos 1. Salakia about that. Because, all this is being uncovered now. See, when you start reading this stuff, it starts to line up with the scriptures. Like, oh, that's why Esau hates us, man. Jeremiah 49:10, but I have made Esau bare. I have uncovered his secret places. So that's how you know your power is in your secrecy. When you got people ignorant of things, you hear the common saying, the biggest trick the devil ever pulled is convincing people he didn't exist. You hear people say that, and there's people who don't believe in the devil, but the devil exists. The devil is walking the earth, man. It's you so-called Edomites, man. You so-called white people, man. You Edomites. Y'all are the devil in the flesh. I don't understand why that would offend you, but it's the truth. But it says, but I have made Esau bare. I have uncovered his secret places, and he shall not be able to hide himself. All his wickedness he has done behind closed doors, the rituals, okay, the extortion, the false accusations, the traps he be setting. The Lord says he shall not be able to hide himself. It says his seed is spoiled, meaning his posterity, his bloodline. All right, as far as a low Edomite count. All right, a low, their population is low. It says in his brethren and his neighbors, and he is not. So the Lord is going to do away with the Edomites, pursuant to what is that? Obadiah verse 18, man. But because you shedded a lot of blood towards on the Israelites, Ezekiel 35, man. And the Lord is not pleased with Esau Edom. He's gonna pay y'all back for all of this. When you read this book, Let's Make a Slave, it gives you a full understanding of what I'm not gonna say a full understanding. It's probably a piece, of what Willie Lynch was thinking when he was teaching these slave owners how to break their slaves. They called it the scientific process of man breaking and slave making. So Esau has always had that hatred towards Jacob. Ezekiel 35, verse 1, it says, moreover, the word of the Lord came unto me, saying, the Lord's name is Yahweh, the Most High's name is Yahweh, Yah meaning he, Hawah meaning is, or he to be. All right, and his son's name is Yahweh Shai. All right, Yah meaning he, Hawah Shai meaning delivers, because he will be the one to deliver the elect of Israel out of captivity. But it says, moreover, the word of the Lord came unto me, saying, Son of man, set thy face against Mount Seir. That's Esau Edom. Okay. It says, and prophesy against it, and say unto it, thus saith the Lord Yahweh power, behold, O Mount Seir, I am against thee, and I will stretch out mine hand against thee, and I will make thee most desolate. So the Lord is going to destroy the Edomites. It says, I will lay thy cities waste. All right. Babylon will be destroyed, man. America KKK will be destroyed by thermonuclear fire and the laser beams from the chariots. It says, I will lay thy cities waste, and thou shalt be desolate, and thou shalt know that I am the Lord, Yahweh B'Hashem Yahweh Shai. Here's the point, verse 5, because thou hast had a perpetual hatred. Perpetual means never ending. I'm reading the NLT afterwards. It says, because thou hast had a perpetual hatred and hast shed the blood of the children of Israel, which are the so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Indians, through the seed of their father, and of course the Israelites that are scattered into the other nations that look like the other nations. Yes, you have Israelites that look like heathens, okay? So, but it's primarily speaking of so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Indians when they brought us down, man. But it says that has shed the blood of the children of Israel by the force of the sword, by putting us in captivity and bringing us out of power, burning our temples down and shit, man. All that wickedness you devils were behind. You Edomites were right there with the heathen, bringing us down by the force of the sword, because you were blessed with the sword, pursuant to Genesis 27. We just read a verse out of chapter 27 of Genesis. It says, by the force of the sword in the time of their calamity, in the time that their iniquity had an end. Verse 6, therefore, as I live, saith the Lord Yahweh power, by Hashem Yahweh Shai, I will prepare thee unto blood, and blood shall pursue thee. All right. It makes me think of Numbers 35. All right. Where it says, the land cannot be cleansed of the blood that is shed therein, but by the blood of him that shed it. Esau, you shedded a lot of blood, man. As a matter of fact, I said I was going to read it in NLT I am. It says, "Sid thou hast not hated blood, even blood shall pursue thee." All right, so you're going to be paid back for all the blood you shedded. Ezekiel 35, verse 5, NLT. Your eternal hatred, this is the Lord speaking to the Edomites, your eternal hatred for the people of Israel led you to butcher them when they were helpless, when I had already punished them for all their sins. As surely as I live, says the sovereign Lord, Yahweh, power by Hashem Yahweh Shai, since you show no distaste for blood, I will give you a bloodbath of your own. Your turn has come. Okay? See, and being told that, Esau don't like that, man. So what is he going to do? He's going to come down with great wrath. Revelation 12 and 12, therefore rejoice ye heavens and ye that dwell in them. Woe to the inhabitants of the earth and of the sea. For the devil, Esau, Edom, so-called white man, woman, and child, beginning with the international banking families, but primarily the international banking families, okay, who are in power, who control the scenes behind the scenes, okay? For the devil has come down unto you. He's going to come with his new world order, all right? Making that the MOTB, the mark of the beast, the MICROCHIP, making that mandatory, all right? The micro C-hip. Says the devil is come down unto you having great wrath because he knoweth that he hath but a short time. Esau know he getting ready to come out of power. And the Lord literally just said it. What'd he say? Ezekiel 35:6, as surely as I live, says the sovereign Lord, since you show no distaste for blood, I will give you a bloodbath of your own. Your turn has come. The Lord said that to Esau, man. So this is why he's coming down with great wrath, because he's angry that he's getting ready to come out of power. Esau believes in his mind, you got a lot of Edomites that truly believe they can't be brought down, man, because they're ruling. Psalm 49:11, their inward thought is that their houses shall continue forever, and their dwelling places to all generations. They call their lands after their own names. So their houses and their dwelling places is their rulership, okay? Their ability to govern and control, all right, and police and oppress and bend justice, twist justice, should I say. They call their lands after their own names. What did they name? What did Leo Scipio Africanus name Africa? Didn't he name Egypt Africa? All right, that's named after Leo Scipio Africanus, man. That's why it's called Africa, because a so-called Roman, a so-called white man in the 2nd century took down Hannibal during the Second Punic War. I believe it's called the Battle of Zama, something like that. I believe it is the Battle of Zama. But anyway, the 2nd century. Okay, he took them down. I believe, if I'm not mistaken, 201 BC, man. The Romans took down the Hannibal, the Carthaginians. I believe it was the Carthaginians, man, the Hamites. And they named Egypt Africa, or Ham Africa. And then America is named after Amerigo Vespucci, he was an Italian map maker. All right. From the 1500s. You know, they were all in cahoots. Christopher Columbus, like they all were on that mission to subjugate and take over, because the Lord had the spirit on them to be in the spirit of Satan, to come down here and take the Gadites down, you know, fuck with the tribes, chase them down, enslave them, okay? Go to the western shores and take down Southern Kingdom, Judah, Benjamin, and Levi, okay? So this is their mindset, though. They think they're going to last forever. That's why they got this Let's Make a Slave book or letter. That's why Willie Lynch took his red devil ass over to the Americas from the West Indies in 1712 to teach them how to take their slaves down and keep them subjugated. Because you Edomites are afraid, man. You know? You're terrified of coming out of power. I believe that's Psalm 62. Let's see here. Oh, yeah. Psalm chapter 62 and verse 4, it says, they only consult to cast him down from his excellency. Esau jealous, man. He a hater. He a devil. He mad because the Lord took all his power away, man. Talking about like the what is the word? Damn, I can't think of the word I was about to say. Your complexion, man. All right. The Lord, your hair is dead, okay? I ain't gonna say too much. I ain't trying to get this video taken down, even though, you know, the devil is the devil. But you consult to cast us down. You try to make us look like we're ugly or we're unattractive, when dark skin protects you from the sun, actually. It protects you from the harmful sun's rays, man. When you don't have melanin is when you are at risk. But see, Esau will twist it and make it seem like, oh, you can get it too. Well, I wouldn't suggest being in the sun all day, every day but you know what I'm saying? I would seek shelter, you know, because I get hot in the sun, just speaking for myself. Anyway, Esau uses that to try to make it seem like dark skin is ugly. That's why they got Mormonism, man. Mormons believe that dark-skinned people are cursed. They only consult to cast him down from his excellency. They delight in lies. You know, they tell you, oh, these are the Jews, when the scriptures tell you something else. They bless with their mouth, but they curse inwardly, Selah. That makes me think of Proverbs 26. I'm going to end it after this second to last precept. This is Esau's mindset, man. You know? And they want that mindset to continue, that sullen. They don't want you, they want you docile. They don't want you knowing who you are. Proverbs 26 and 24. He that dissembleth, it's like he that hateth dissembleth with his lips. When you go into dissemble, it means to use trickery to cover up. He that hates someone, dissembles with his lips, meaning he'll cover it up with his lips like, oh, what up, bro? How you doing? Oh, what's going on, brother? It says, and layeth up deceit within him. He just trying to study you out. But you know, you're all crossways. He'd get down the street and call the police like, oh, there's a guy over here with a blue hoodie on. He looks suspicious. After he just shook up with you and say, hey, what's going on? How you doing? Or he give you a fist bump. But Esau is just, that's the spirit the Lord gave him. It says, when he speaketh fair, believe him not, for there are 7 abominations in his heart. This is why I say you so-called white people are the devil that the Bible speaks of, man. And of course, you don't like to hear that. It bothers you a lot, man. I'd be bothered too, because it's the truth, and the truth hurts. That's why you watch and bother videos and take videos down and block brothers from their making their virtual epistles, man. Because it's bothersome to you that we're saying this. When you speak, don't believe you. That's what the Lord is saying. For there are 7 abominations in his heart. Verse 26, whose hatred is covered by deceit. He'd pretend to be your brother. He'd pretend to be on your side. But his hatred is just covered by deceit. This is the spirit of Esau Edom. It's the spirit of Satan, man. His wickedness shall be shewed before the whole congregation. And they even got Jakes acting like this, man. You can't believe nothing they say. When he speaketh fair, believe him not. Read it in the NLT. They pretend to be kind. Verse 25. They pretend to be kind, but don't believe them. Their hearts are full of many evils. While their hatred may be concealed by trickery, their wrongdoing will be exposed in public. And that's what's happening to Esau Edom now. So that's why they mad, man. You know, because the Lord is getting ready to set up a kingdom which will never be destroyed. I'm going to end it off with Daniel 2 and 44. Lord willing, y'all being edified. The Lord is getting ready to put the Israelites back on top, the so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Indians, okay, through the seed of their father, and the Israelites scattered into the heathen nations, man. That look like the heathen, but were actually Israelites. Daniel 2 and 44, the Israelites are about to be back on top, man. It's a future prophecy. Daniel 2 and 44 is titled The Divine Kingdom. And in the days of those kings shall the power of heaven, all right, Yahweh B'Shem Yahweh Shai, set up a kingdom which shall never be destroyed. That's the kingdom of heaven. And the kingdom shall not be left to other people. What do you think that means? The Israelites are going to rule. Because who is God's chosen people? The Israelites. It says, but it shall break in pieces and consume all these kingdoms, and it shall stand forever. That's really why y'all mad, though. So the condescending remarks, and a lot of them Edomites have come across what they call so-called Black Hebrew Israelites. And they're mad about it. They start to hate Jake even more. They're just more. A lot of them hated Jake anyway. Of course, their spirit has to hate him. The Lord created you to hate Jake because you're an Edomite, man. You can't hide that hatred. But a lot of them were good at hiding their hatred. But now, when they come across the truth or they come across the brothers, it brings it out. Because they're like, oh, well, this is how they feel about me. This is how I feel about them. But this is what's coming. It says, and the kingdom shall not be left to other people, but it shall break in pieces and consume all these kingdoms, and it shall stand forever. That's what's coming. All right. The Israelites, the Lord is going to use the elect of Israel, okay, with spiritual power to bring this place down, man. Okay. Of course, with the holy angels through thermonuclear destruction. America KKK is done, man. What do you think it means? It shall break in pieces and consume all these kingdoms. All the kingdoms that's standing right now, that's ruling. All y'all. All right? Moab, Ishmael, you know who you are. So-called Chinese, so-called Arabs, man. All right? All you heathen nations that got some type of power structure. The Lord is going to bring that power structure down, starting with Esau, Edom, you so-called white people. The European Union, all right, the NATO, EU and NATO. There will be no EU and NATO when Yahushua gets here, who the world ignorantly calls Jesus Christ. When Yahushua returns, the EU and NATO will no longer exist. It will be gone. G-O-N-E. Gone. All right, I'm going to end it there, though. Lord willing, this lesson was edifying. I want to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rakakodash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone, and Shalom to you hopeful elect out there.